Hello everyone, welcome back to the White Collar Engineer. Today, in order to share her IIM Sambalpur's interview experience, we have Shreya with us. Hi Shreya, welcome to the White Collar Engineer. How are you doing?
Hi Saleh, happy to be here. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. Shreya, हमारे audience को अपने बारे में कुछ बताओ.
Okay, so I am a BCom fresher. I actually have my finals next month, and I have currently been through the interview season as I'm here to discuss. And my CAT percentile is 98.35, and just this going through the whole CAT GDPI process right now.
All right. Shreya, IIM Sambalpur का जो GDPI process है, can you please elaborate that once?
Okay, so Sambalpur abhi cap se it got separated this year only,
Right.
and after the percentile came out, when all the forms were coming out, the Sambalpur का भी एक separate form आया था, and you were supposed to fill that. It did not ask for a lot of details.
Mhm.
उसमें mostly उसका purpose ये था कि online है offline है आप वो select कर लो. And after you do that, they gave you a date. And my interview, it was recently on 18th of March
Okay.
online.
Okay. Cool. And there was no GD, there was no VAT, there was no extempore per se. It was just directly an interview.
Yes. And mine was online, so it was just, hardly a 15 minutes interview. And that was it. That's the whole process.
Awesome. So coming to the point, Shreya, abhi, what were the questions which were asked to you in the interview?
Okay, so I had two panelists, one male, one female. And it started from discussing. I'm from Indore, so it started from discussing over from there. Ki, how is Indore? How are you doing? And then the sir he asked me a very like a question that was asking. He asked me about the background and why do I want to do MBA? How has Indore helped? And he asked me basically everything in one question.
Okay.
So it was basically TMAY. So I told him about my family, about my background, Indore, why MBA, and the conversation followed up that what is my backup if I don't have MBA.
Mm-hmm.
So basically revolving around why MBA, what's my backup, and why do I want to do MBA right now rather than getting work X?
Okay.
So all of these questions were asked, and then because I mentioned my family, so they asked that if your brother does masters and then PhD, so would you be influenced by that?
Mm-hmm.
So all of these questions were there. And then what job roles are you interested in? So I'm right now my interest lies towards finance and investment banking. So I mentioned that, and they asked me the companies that are the most famous ones in investment banking and why exactly investment banking. So I talked about my recent internship in that and how I got some amount of exposure to the field and I found it interesting enough. And yeah, he asked me, how will you explain the difference between an investment bank and a normal bank to a student of seventh grade?
Okay.
So, yeah, so he asked all of these questions, and then the conversation shifted to the female panelist. And from the first question on, she was asking me about fashion industry. I I do not have anything related to fashion industry in my portfolio, but it was something she wanted to ask.
Okay.
So she asked firstly, I think, if you were to do something in the fashion industry, what would you do? Seeing as, it is, with the Gen Z and with the whole marketing and
Right.
Instagram and how clothing has become a huge deal now.
Right.
So, what would you do? And the thing is, I have a little differing views when it comes to the whole fashion industry because it is also one of the biggest contributors to the climate issue
Correct.
in the world. So I actually took the conversation in that direction, that sustainability and how it should be sustainably used rather than the overconsumption that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked about all that, and she asked me how you will build a sustainable model in a fashion industry. So I gave some thoughts on that, and then she asked give 3 points to convince the normal Indian women and girls on being sustainable and putting their money in investments rather than in clothing or anything fashion related.
Great.
So that was it. Yeah, it was a short and sweet interview, went well. This was the whole conversation.
Right. So, Shreya, talking about the investment banking interest as well as your interest towards finance. So, like for you, was it your background and your internship enough for that sort of preparation, or you had taken any other GDPI course, or you had to go through other details as well, just to prepare for your interviews?
See, I have two questions here to answer.
Hmm.
So the first one related to finance and investment banking. I have done just one internship right now, so I won't say that I am completely decided on it. However, there is an inclination of interest, and I have seen people who are interested in marketing, HR, and other specializations.
Right.
My interest it inclines towards finance. That I'm sure of. And then when you join MBA and when you study there, you explore things, you learn more.
Correct.
So there's that. And for the GDPI prep, I actually had a coaching where I studied for my CAT, and there itself I prepared GDPI through their guidance.
All right. And as you mentioned that the female panelist, she asked you directly about the fashion industry and stuff, although you had no link towards that. So, do you
Yes.
think is it because Sambalpur being a part of Odisha and such a culturally enriched state, does that play a role for the female panelist to ask you question from that, or was it a completely random one as per your views?
It could be, maybe it was a reason. Maybe she just wanted to, do something out of normal. You never really know how an
Exactly.
interviewer has, yeah, so you don't really know. But yeah, it was a new line of questioning. I
Hmm.
haven't actually been asked something so specific yet.
Correct.
So, but it was something to think about. Interesting conversation.
Exactly. All right, Shreya.
Yeah.
So before wrapping up the video, any particular tips which you would like to give to the juniors or the interview call getters who are, preparing for IIM Sambalpur?
The biggest tip I would like, the tip that actually matters is it's a conversation, it's not an interview. Treat it like a conversation. And they are not here to, like harshly judge you. They just
Right.
want to know how much you know.
Exactly. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Shreya. Thanks a lot for coming to the White Collar Engineer and sharing your interview experience. It was my pleasure hosting you.
Thank you. It was my pleasure being here. Thank you, Saleh.